Gavin Capable Preston, one of Melbourne's most notorious gangland figures, has been shot dead in the city's northwest in what appears to be a deadly underworld attack, shortly after his release from prison. His murder, a mere few months after tasting the bitter sweetness of freedom, paints a chilling portrait of city's unforgiving criminal underworld. According to reports, Preston had been waging bloody feuds with rival clubs in Melbourne's gangland scene, before he was gunned down on Saturday 9 September 2023, at Sweet Lulu's café on Old Calder Hwy, Keilor. Preston was having breakfast with Abbas Jr. aka Abbas Maghnie, the son of late Underworld enforcer Nabil Maghnie, who was also shot in the upper body, but survived. He was rushed to the Royal Melbourne's hospital, where he underwent surgery on Saturday afternoon. According to police, two male offenders, who were dressed in black and traveling in a black Audi SUV, fired shots at the pair who were eating outside the cafe. Onlookers speculate that almost 10 shots were discharged, possibly from a full magazine. The offenders later dumped the vehicle nearby in Blair Court, and used a second getaway car to flee the scene. Police and the media believe that the shooting is intricately tied to organized crime, suggesting a sinister web of criminal activity behind this violent incident. A number of other people were also dining at the cafe during the shooting, all of whom were exposed to the shocking incident firsthand. Police have intensified their efforts, actively pursuing the gunman, and a thorough and ongoing investigation will aim to shed light on the circumstances surrounding this brazen act of violence. Following the shooting, Gavin's wife and son arrived at the scene. Visibly distraught, they remonstrated with the police officers present at the scene. However, after a period of time, the officers were able to calm them down. In response to the incident, detectives from the homicide squad, along with police and emergency personnel, promptly arrived at the scene. They established a secure perimeter and marked the area as an active crime scene. Victoria Police took swift action by closing the Old Calder Hwy at both entrances to the shopping precinct. As a result, residents were strongly advised to steer clear of the area due to a significant traffic congestion. Preston, one of Victoria's most violent and feared gangland figures, was released from jail in April this year, after he spent 11 years behind bars over the death of drug trafficker Abbas Jr, who was shot in 2012. In 2015, Preston beat the murder charge, and a possible life sentence, by pleading guilty to the lesser offense of defensive homicide over the killing of Abbas Jr. Preston's nickname Capable was attributed to his reputation for being capable of committing any crime or act of violence without hesitation. His criminal history dated back to when he was 18 years old, and was littered with a multitude of violent offenses, armed robberies, and weapons-related crimes. Throughout the years, he had been linked to various incidents of violence and had become known as a ruthless gang member. Preston's stomach bared a tattoo that read Capable, which served as a constant reminder of his fearsome reputation in criminal circles. After his return, he had also tattooed his nickname Capable across his neck and his partner's name Lauren over his right eye. He became eligible for parole in mid-2021, and had been preparing for freedom for more than a year after reaching out to past enemies to claim he had no plans to restart the feuds that had marked his violent career. Preston was not on parole and was released slightly early, after receiving a sentencing discount for serving time during the COVID lockdowns. After his previous gang prisoner of war, while in jail, Preston was linked to the Comancheros and Mongols bikie clubs, and according to prison guards he knew them all, and was capable of forming quick alliances. The last time Preston was released from prison, he attempted to start a new life but fell back in with old criminal associates and began a series of confrontations with his enemies. Preston was one of the prime suspects, along with Nabil Maghnie, in the near-fatal shooting of former Bandidos bikie Toby Mitchell outside Doherty's gym in Brunswick in 2011. Neither was charged over the shooting. In late 2011, Maghnie and Preston were intercepted with a loaded gun by police ahead of an alleged plan to murder Gatto for reasons that remain unclear. The charges over the plot were later dropped. Maghnie was shot dead during an altercation in the street in January 2020, a crime that remains unsolved. While awaiting trial, his time in Barwon prison was marred by another brutal feud with former friend Matthew Johnson, head of the jail gang Prisoners of War. In 2014, 5 prisoners armed with knives, metal bars and spikes stabbed Preston more than 20 times. He refused to provide a statement against his assailants. Video of the assault would later be published on YouTube by people purporting to represent prisoners of war. According to sources, since he was released from prison, Preston had been building a new crew based in the western suburbs that was suspected of involvement in a number of standovers and robberies. He was regarded as one of the most hated members of Melbourne's underworld and had a long list of enemies, including convicted drug trafficker and murderer George Maghnie, who was serving a non-parole term of 32 years in a maximum security cell in Barwon prison. Preston was also involved in several recent extortion attempts, including standing over a business owner who had also been implicated in Nabil Maghnie's death. Maghnie was shot dead in Epping in January 2020, and Preston recently became close with his son AJ. The pair were involved in a transport business based in Melbourne's western suburbs. After his release, concerns were expressed by various individuals about his freedom. Law enforcement agencies were reportedly closely monitoring his activities within the community. It was anticipated that the police would be vigilant in their surveillance of Preston, given his reputation for violence and his propensity for committing criminal offenses. According to reports, no one believed that Gavin wanted a quiet life. He had always been unpredictable, and that was not going to change. His past behavior had been erratic and violent, leading people to question his ability to change. His reputation for being mentally unstable and prone to violence led many to believe that he was unlikely to undergo a transformation. There had been a lot of discussion around his release from prison, with some individuals expressing a preference for him to remain behind bars. According to some crime reporters, it would have been only a matter of time before Preston is rearrested and returned to prison. However, his murder has shocked many, and city's criminal underworld might be on the edge of exploding into a fresh gangland war. Crime Command Acting Superintendent Mark Hott said that given the brazen nature of the attack, police believed the incident was linked to organized crime. He said there was a concern that the shooting could lead to future revenge attacks. Victoria Police is committed to throwing more resources in relation to this investigation and will do everything we possibly can to ensure no further acts like this occur. At the time of the shooting, a number of other people were dining at the café, innocently going about their day when this tragic event unfolded before their eyes. The crime sent shockwaves rippling through the community, leaving not only those directly impacted but also the witnesses deeply shaken. The sudden and senseless act of violence serves as a stark reminder of the unpredictability of crime and criminals. The police have recovered 2 cars in connection with the case: the suspected getaway vehicle, the black Audi, which was discovered burnt, and another vehicle, a black Volkswagen. Homicide detectives are currently conducting investigations at the scene. Police also discovered an unused firearm magazine discarded in the grass in a nearby park. As of now, no arrests have been made, and the investigations are ongoing.